Hey YouTubers, John the audiophile pragmatist, and I'm coming to you today to show you what I'm doing here with this Pioneer integrated amplifier, which has a great reputation. It is look at that faceplate, somebody boogered that up. So it needs a faceplate, but it's an SA-8500 II. It's a Pioneer SA-8500 II. So I looked on eBay and there ain't one available. There's an 8500 and it's like $1,400. So I think this one will be good to go. It needs a faceplate. Unless somebody can polish that out, I don't think so. I think it's boogered up enough to where it's not dirty, but it's got those marks that I don't know what somebody was thinking. Anyway, so but with that, I see that there's some parts, SA-8500 series, there's some parts PIGs available, so somebody might be able to find the faceplate for this. That's all it needs. The cover is actually in good shape and everything in the back, and it's, you know, it has a little rust here. It's no big deal. Everything else is in good shape. But what I wanted to show you was what I was doing here is you can see what I've done. I've bypassed. Oh, you heard it. So I bypassed basically EQ board. So it's hard to tell what's going on if you don't have the faceplate on there. But let me help it. Try to help it. So what you would see is the bass turnover and bass controls and tone off and on and treble turnovers, right? So this is this board right here that we're looking at. That board is bad. It is intermittent and gives a really bad clicking sound, which sets the amp into protection mode periodically. And so it's definitely bad. So what I've done is I've bypassed that board by taking the audio that was going into the board and then shorting it out, or reconnecting it to the audio that's going out of the board. And so the board is totally bypassed right now. So as you can see, it works, and there's nothing wrong. I've looked at the amplifier, the preamplifier boards, the amplifiers, the preamp boards back there. But I mean the amplifier boards with the biasing. I adjusted the bias for 30 millivolts, and it's playing beautifully. But the problem is you can't just bypass this board. I would do that because I'm not one for tone controls anyway. So if your room doesn't sound good, then change the room, right? There's ways to do that. That's what I've done in my room. I don't have tone controls on my Peachtree Nova, and it's beautiful. But to get this amp back to its original configuration, this board will have to be rebuilt. There's several electrolytic capacitors in here which are suspect. Those aren't. Those are metal film or whatever, ceramic, whatever they are. Electrolytic capacitors here. I'm going to order all those. These green ones are not electrolytics, so I won't bother with those. These transistors, 725s and 1919s, I'll order all those. I'm going to rebuild this board because it's not switches. You know, I've checked the switches. It's fine. I've cleaned them. They're all good. So it's not that. It is I believe it's the one. So one of these transistors, I think it's that one, is putting out spurious noise, which is like causing the amp to go into protection. So without the board, as you can see, the problem was, if I was going to keep this amp, I might disable that board altogether and just go with this, right? And just make that permanent, that rigging right there permanent and safe. but there's amplification that's happening on this board as well, unfortunately. So it doesn't actually, so when I'm turning this volume up, right? So it's not able to drive the amplifier all the way, you know, into where it's supposed to be, where, because these little clip speakers shouldn't be able to take this amplifier. This amplifier is huge, right? Very powerful. And I shouldn't be able to turn the volume up all the way. So this thing is responsible for more than just tone control. It's part of the preamp. And so it's gonna have to be rebuilt. And we're gonna do that. So I've already put the parts on order and we'll get it done. So if somebody out there has got a faceplate for a Pioneer, get it out. Lord. So a Pioneer SA-8500 2, which I gather they're, if you had a good, pretty faceplate, everything else is good. Knobs are fine, and all. The case itself is fine. It's going to be a good amp. I don't see anything wrong with it other than that preamp tone control board. So if anybody has got a 8500 2 faceplate or a parts peg out there, here comes an 8500 is going to be perfect after I get done with it. So anyway, John out. If you are into it, like and subscribe and help me out. Thanks. Bye.